does not hook in, catches the upright. Big break for Washington. Now they have to do something with it.
A real sports scoop is more than fancy technology. It's the perfect balance between the needs of a driver and the needs of a curve. With a pure, focused performance that makes even the same old road seem new. Because it's not the road you take, it's how you take the road. The all-new 24-valve Ford Probe GT. Have you driven a Ford lately?
He's defeated Mothra. He's defeated Angus and Mecha Godzilla. But he's never faced an adversary like this. Godzilla versus Charles Barkley. It's the battle of the century. Get ready to see a real monster jam.
It's hard to believe so much beauty ended up in one place, America. And right now, you can see a lot more of it in a new Geo Metro from Alamo at a special low rate. We call it Alamo's Great American Rate. One low rate, good from coast to coast. And nationwide, with Alamo, you get all the miles for free. A Geo Metro at Alamo's Great American Rate. It's the perfect way to tour America, from sea to shining sea.
Coming next Monday, a father, a son, a second chance.
What do you say we take a different road together for a while?
Robert Urich in a sneak preview of Crossroads next Monday.
Aikman going over things with Burnline, just led him on a drive that consumed 62 yards, but they come up empty, and here are the Skins now on first down, and Rypien going deep, and he hits Art Monk, and Monk makes the 802nd catch of his illustrious career, and it's good for a 27-yard gain. He is bounced out of bounds by James Washington. Well, sooner or later, number 81 is going to get a football.
And that time, good pass protection for Mark Rypien. Joe Jacoby doing a good job on Charles Haley, standing him up, keeping him right on the line of scrimmage. He's the big man. 18 more catches now, and Monk will be the all-time leader in receptions. He'll surpass Steve Largent. And as you saw, he just became the 5th player in league history to go over 11,000 yards. First down at the 48. The fake to Irvins. The roll by Rypien, that buys time. Rypien going deep, but too deep. The coverage was there. Terry Orr, and you'll rarely see Orr going that deep, the H-back. Ray Horton back there covering. And you just saw why you will rarely see Terry Orr going deep. He gets himself tied up in the secondary with Larry Brown, and Rypien, in effect, just threw it away. Redskins, that first drive resulting in a safety off the block punt, and then 4 plays in a punt, and then 5 plays in a punt, and now this. Second down and 10, and a fumble at the 47-yard line. Dallas has it.
The fumble was between the center quarterback exchange. A veteran center in Jeff Bostic, a veteran quarterback in Mark Rypien, who's only been in camp for a week. There's Bostic, who's been there forever. Let's see if we can see it.
Actually, Rypien was leaving before the count.
You could see the ball came up and was in Rypien's hands, but Rypien was on his way out and didn't control it.
Recovery by Kenneth Gant, the safety. First down, Dallas at the Skins 46. Emmitt Smith, vintage Smith, gain of 10 to the 36-yard line.
If Emmitt Smith in this game tonight is reminding me of Barry Sanders in so much that every time he touches the football, your heart just accelerates, and you're wondering, is this going to end up being a highlight film type run? I mean, every time he's taking it, doesn't, Frank, it's looking like that.
He looks a lot like Barry Sanders, built low to the ground. They're going to take a look, see if it's a first down. But what has happened tonight is there have been so many Redskins that have taken a shot at him and have missed him.
they're hesitating, and that makes him even that much more effective.
Well, you saw that graphic earlier. He became the first guy since Leroy Kelly in the mid-60s to score against the Skins in 4 straight games. And now he's just joined Otto Brigham. 5 straight games in which he has scored a touchdown, 78 yards already. So he's almost on a 200-yard pace at the moment. Here he is again. On first down, getting next to nothing. Stokes is there to trip him up along with Andre Collins, and we have 6:40 to go at jam-packed Texas Stadium, where the Cowboys have been dominant and lead 9-0.
I was talking with Richie Pettibone before the game, and there's been a lot of talk here in Dallas. This is the year they take the next step. That means the NFC Championship, and they're talking Super Bowl. And Richie Pettibone said, you know, they sound like they're us. We're the Super Bowl champions. They're the ones who are trying to get there. But they came out, and they, so far, have really made their words stand up. They've been talking big, they're playing big.
2nd and 9, and Aikman throws a wobbly pass that Mayu picks off inside the 20-yard line. And Martin Mayu gets banged down by Emmitt Smith at the 41 as they pat each other on the helmets.
Well, Martin Mayu has been having an extraordinary preseason. 2 interception return for touchdowns against the Raiders, and now this one, a much-needed spark for the Redskins. And I don't know how he kept the ball off the field.
The attempt was to Alvin Harper. The question it won't be a question because they have given it to him, but it came close to a trap. Will he get the hand better? It matters not, because they allow the interception out to the 42-yard line. The attempt to Harper, who was shaken up on the play.
It looked like a trap from that angle, did it not?
At the 42-yard line, Ernest Biner picks up the first down. But of course, this year, upon no further review.
Well, the other thing that would have been looked at there was whether or not he was down by contact. Was Mayhew touched by Harper when he was on the ground in possession of the ball? Let's look and see.
Oh, but what a great play.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very close.
Yes. The other side of that is he should not have been given the yardage that he got up and gained after the INT.
Well, you hit it, Dan. He's been playing great football. He gets most of the attention because Darrell Green's on the other side. They usually send their best receivers against Mayhew.
5:15 remaining in the half from the 46-yard line. Here is Ernest Biner. Cuts it back. Brown can't make the tackle. Sloppy tackling. And Gann finally runs him out of bounds at the 30-yard line.
Redskins now on a roll, and just when they need it to. They've been pushed all around here in the first half. They can put 7 on the board. They will be in good shape. Again, Biner, he's Mr. Everything for the Redskins. Nothing doing inside where he was supposed to take it. Breaks it to the outside. Good all-around football player. A couple of back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. Good receiver.
Clark and Monk stacked to the right side, and Rypien goes with a wide-open Clark and a touchdown. And so Mayhew's interception completely turning it around. And the Skins now down by 3 and going on 2 with the extra point.
Cowboys just dropped back into a zone, and Clark came down, moved to the inside, saw the zone, broke it to the flag, and Rypien with all the time in the world delivered.
And the instant replay, opponents and proponents will have lots to talk about tomorrow.
Look at Clark, 84, a little dip to the inside. And James Washington, 37, bought it all as Clark turned it to the flag, and Rypien was there.
Chip Lohmiller for the point after. Gary Clark. On the receiving end of a Rypien aerial with 4:48 to go in the half. A 2-point Dallas lead now.
They break and enter, but they're not thieves.
We're getting too old for this.
They know your secrets, but they're not spies.
Mr. Bishop, do you mind if I take a look? Carl, grow up.
Now, they've been hired to find a secret.
And your job is to find that little black box.
More powerful than any weapon.
Give me the box, Marty.
There isn't a government on this planet that wouldn't kill us all for that thing.
They've almost got us.
Sneakers, rated PG-13. Starts Wednesday in select areas and Friday everywhere.
Ford Trucks, the best never rest.
People used to go out on Saturday night and leave their truck at home. Times have changed. Our 92 full-size pickup is still built Ford tough, but we designed it to be more stylish outside, more comfortable inside. Now, if anything gets left at home, it'll probably be their car.
More people are driving the best-built, best-selling American trucks than ever before.
There's a tropical island that's not on any map, though it's easy to find. It's warmed by the sun and caressed by the winds, with its own hidden treasures, local delicacies, and exotic festivals. But this island moves. It's a Carnival cruise ship. So if you go, get there on time and get out your Visa card, because the world's most popular cruise line doesn't stay in one place for long, and it doesn't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Texas tackles Syracuse. Tennessee takes on Georgia, plus other regional actions Saturday on ABC's College Football.
Nothing quite like it, architecturally speaking. The hole in the roof in Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas, just outside Dallas. Lohmiller kicks off.
Whoa. I'll say. He almost put it out the hole.
Well, without replay this year, and we're not going to belabor it because you're going to hear it 1,000 times this year, but when something like the Mayu interception happens, you have to take a look at it because it's something that clearly gets overturned, at least in terms of down by contact.
Well, watch the football. First of all, Mayhew does not have the ball. There it is on the ground. That is an incomplete pass by Troy Aikman. So it's the double whammy. Not only should Washington not have had possession, they also should not have had the resulting yardage. So if you're keeping score, I think we saw conclusive evidence that it would not have been an interception.
And it had been an interception. He also would have been down by contact.
A fortuitous break.
A double bubble, but at least we didn't stop and look at it for 5 minutes.
Here's Aikman back to throw, stepping up now, and stepping out for a 19-yard gain up to the 39-yard line.
Very important now for Dallas to come back. They came into this game. They were fired up. The adrenaline was flowing. They were really stoked when they came out onto the field, led by this man. And now they're kind of back to normal, if you will. And it's important now that they step up.
4:28 to go in the first half. Jerry Jones, the owner of the Cowboys, the man who bought the team in 1989, the man in the middle.
Was that Hank Williams Jr.'s cowboy hat walking around in there? It looked like it.
And a whistle before the inception of the play. Yes, it is. Are you ready for some football?
And there's the man under it.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Excitement.
False start. Offense, number 79, prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Enjoying a cold glass of ice water.
A little refreshment here on a very warm night.
Or tea. Eric Williams is the guy who jumped. We mentioned Eric's name before, but not the same Eric Williams. The Redskins, of course, with a defensive tackle. Eric Williams, he's the guy who's hurt. And also Bobby Wilson was shaken up before, so he's out. And Jason Buck, a much-traveled defensive lineman, number 99, is in there. Aikman throws, and that's dropped by Johnston, who gets wrapped up immediately by Gouveia. It'll be second down and 15.
I think that Johnson thought that ball was coming. It was sort of a who, me?
That looked more like calf roping at a rodeo. Gouveia throwing Johnston all the way around. There's Jim Hannafin, the great offensive line coach of the Redskins, congratulating his guys, I'm sure, on some good pass protection, but at the same time explaining the facts of life to these guys, that they have been less than dominant.
Second and 15 at the 34-yard line. Little swing out to Emmitt Smith, and he's tackled at the 34-yard line as Darrell Green stayed right with him to ensure no gain. Third and long upcoming.
Dallas apparently losing a bit of their momentum. They went back to a very high percentage play with the second and long yardage, second and 14. They flip it out on the flat to Emmitt Smith, hoping he can break a couple of tackles, get good yardage, and Washington defends it very well.
Third down, 14. We'll look through the face mask of one Charles Mann as Smith comes out. Cowboys, of course, if you follow them closely, they don't use the shotgun. Haven't at all since '89. Aikman lines up under center. Johnson stays in the block. Coleman comes racing through, but he gets it off to Kelvin Martin. And Martin seeks the first down, but is short up at the 44-yard line. A.J. Johnson with the tackle about 4 yards shy.
Well, and there's the athleticism of quarterback Troy Aikman under great pressure from Monty Coleman. We already told you about how fast he is. One of the great pass defensive linemen in the league, or linebackers in the league, and he puts the pressure on Aikman, and Aikman with the flick of the wrist was able to complete the pass. Here comes Coleman.
Well, the Redskins, Frank, have been getting good pressure outside from the ends, but they haven't been getting much up the middle, and that time Richie Pettibone was forced to come with the blitz, and fortunately Coleman was not picked up.
Meanwhile, Washington has taken a timeout as they look ahead. They want to stop the clock. Otherwise, the Cowboys would have run as much time as they could have off the clock. And the Skins still have 2 timeouts, plus the free one at the 2-minute warning, and they're going to get the ball back. 2:34 remaining in the half. Tomorrow night, a tropical island is the setting for a med school like one you've never seen before. From the producers of Northern Exposure comes the season's first hit series, Going to Extremes. You'll see it tomorrow at 10 o'clock, 9 Central and Mountain, right after Coach with Craig T. Nelson right here on ABC. .234 left in the half. Saxon will kick. And Brian Mitchell stands back at his 10-yard line to accept it. As you can see, the crowd fanning themselves here. Very still inside Texas Stadium. No air circulation because of the roof configuration. Saxon angles it, and that is a beauty. Perfect.
Do you believe the 1-yard line?
Just perfect. 54 yards.
Well, Brian Mitchell, the return man, is told not to handle a ball inside the 10-yard line. He made the proper decision in not handling the football, and who's to know that this type of a bounce would happen? That is just plain old perfect. And that ball just does what it wants to do sometimes, and that time it decided to do Mike Saxon and the Cowboys a favor.
So inside the 1-yard line now for the Washington Redskins. 2:26 remaining in the half. Hobbs and Sanders come in as we'll take a look at.
And guys, here's where Dallas, having burned up some of their timeouts earlier, hurts them because they would want to stop the clock.
Sure. Rypien throws, and that's tipped in. He's lucky it wasn't picked off by Jones, off the hands of Gary Clark, and Robert Jones was there but could not come up with the interception.
Now there's a break for Dallas in several ways. One, no yardage on first down, but secondarily it stops the clock. Now with 2:21 remaining, the Cowboys have 1 timeout. Is that correct?
They have 1 timeout, and it will also stop, of course, at the 2-minute warning, which could work at this point in either team's favor. It all depends. 2nd and 10. Biner out to the 8-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and 3. James Washington. This is one of those calls where you got to look at yourself and you go, what do we do here? We call timeout?
No, I think you let it go to the 2-minute warning with only having 1.
We've already had 1 punt block, so at least you feel a little more comfortable getting away from your 1-yard line where you can at least kick from some sort of a spread if you have to kick.
A lot of pressure on the Washington Redskins to get a first down and keep the ball away from Dallas.
that little package they delivered this morning? Did you put it somewhere?
Federal Express knows how it feels when you have to locate your package.
Mommy needs it for a meeting.
That's why Federal Express has a tracking system that can tell you where your package is.
How about giving Mommy a hint?
Of course, once it gets there, you're on your own.
Oh, great.
Federal Express.
Henry, where are my keys?
Our most important package is yours.
There's more than new looks to the '93 Ford Escort. There's a whole new way to buy an Escort, because these 4 Escort LXs all share one low price, $10,499. The 3-door, 4-door sedan, 5-door, and wagon all have air conditioning, AM/FM stereo, power steering, power mirrors, and more. 4 Escorts, one price. Now buying an Escort's as easy as owning one.
Have you driven a Ford lately?
2 minutes to go in the first half. Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, Dan Dierdorf on opening night of our 23rd season. 9-7, the Cowboys in front. 3rd down and 3 upcoming for Washington at the Redskin 8-yard line. Clark and Monk stacked on the left side, and here's Biner, and they stop him, so the Skins are going to have to kick. Jimmy Jones makes the tackle, and the Dallas Cowboys at this point will spend their final timeout. So they stop the clock with 1:51, and when they get the ball back, they do not have a timeout, but they should get it back pretty close to midfield.
So in reality, it was the Redskins taking of a timeout that really ultimately it's now backfired on them.
And again, remember, Kelly Goodburn has already had one blocked.
And little things as a game goes along don't seem so big at the time, but remember when Dallas through some improper planning had to use 2 timeouts when they didn't need them at all. There was no strategical purpose for them using those timeouts, and now look how desperately they'd love to have them back.
Probably the only thing the Cowboys did wrong in the first maybe 22-23 minutes of the game was having to take those timeouts.
And now almost certainly they will have the ball inside Redskin territory with any kind of a return. And the no timeouts takes away some of your options.
Well, they owe getting the ball back to Mike Saxon, who pinned the Redskins at the 1. And now Goodburn's going to have to punt it out of the end zone. Low, pretty short kick, but again it takes a big Washington bounce, and Martin didn't come up to handle it, and that cost Dallas a good 20 yards again.
Well, Goodburn had to hurry that punt again. He was under enormous pressure to get that one off.
So instead of about a 35-yarder, that's a 59-yarder.
And there's a case where Dallas, having only one return man, backfires on them because it was not a good kick. It was angled off to the right, and Martin didn't get over there to field it. That's where if you have 2 deep, you can go ahead and fair catch the ball and really handle a bad kick. This time with only Kelvin Martin deep, it works against the Dallas Cowboys and costs them a big chunk of yardage.
Isaac Holt, who again came bursting through. He was the man who blocked Goodburn's kick, leading to a safety in the first quarter. Now Dallas without a timeout from the 33-yard line. Aikman swings it to Smith, and Smith finally gets run down. There's a flag down at the 46-yard line. As the clock stops with 1:28, we'll get the call from Hantak, and we'll also tell you about the big sports news of the day in case you have not heard, and that is the resignation of the baseball commissioner, Fay Vincent. Holding call coming up against Washington. Of course, last week the vote of no confidence, 18-9, 1 abstention. Vincent originally said he would fight it, he would not resign, thought about it over the weekend at Cape Cod, where he is right now, and basically said a fight based solely on principle does not justify the disruption. So Fay Vincent reluctantly steps down today as the commissioner of baseball. And he feels in effect that resignation is better than litigation.
The holding call against the Redskins was declined.
First down for the Cowboys now, and a leaping catch is made at the 43-yard line by Michael Irvin.
And more importantly, Al, out of bounds, stops the clock. First down, Dallas.
He got possession on Mayu inside him, and that's a 13-yard gain to the 43 of the Redskins.
Again, Mayu had to give Michael Irvin a lot more than he wanted to. Michael Irvin, again, a deep threat. Goes up, protects the ball from Mayu, comes down with the first down, stops the clock.
I don't want to be guilty of hyping this game, but we have seen more good football in the first half of a preseason opener than maybe we had a right to expect. A lot of exceptional plays.
A lot of great catches. 1:21 to go in the half. Aikman throws. Wide open is Irvin, and that's another first down at the 26-yard line.
That time, Darrell Green laying way off Michael Irvin. A good 5-6 yards away from Irvin. Keep in mind, he riddled the Washington defense last November. He has a lot of respect. Put the move on Darrell Green, made it look like he was going to take it deep. Green bought it. And it's another first down, also out of bounds, stopping the clock.
With the amount of yardage they've covered, if Kelvin Martin handles that punt, they've already scored a touchdown.
Cowboys up by 2, 1:16 to go in the half. First and 10 at the 26-yard line. Here come the Redskins, and Aikman gets hit as he throws, as Wilbur Marshall came through on the right side along with Charles Mann to disrupt the play. Second down.
Well, there's a mismatch. That's Wilbur Marshall working against Emmitt Smith. Smith was forced to stay in and block, and that's a kind of a matchup that the Redskins will win every time. Wilbur Marshall against a lineman is a good one. Look at the bottom there. Emmitt Smith just is no way. He ended up with really what appeared to be a very good block on Marshall, but Marshall got in and hit Aikman.
For the first time, the Skins, too, Dan, had a little push up front, and Aikman couldn't step up.
Second and 10 at the 26-yard line. A free play, and it's incomplete. Tim Johnson was the guy who jumped.
Didn't you think you heard a whistle?
I thought I did.
No flag.
I thought I heard a whistle blow.
Joe Gibbs thought he heard a whistle blow.
Getting old, just ringing in our ears.
Well, some of the players certainly look like it. Your explanation may be accurate, though.
Yeah. It's third down and 10 at the 26-yard line. 1:07 remaining in the first half. Again, Dallas without a timeout. Third and 10. Lofted for Harper. Touchdown.
Darrell Green, the victim, and Harper may have got away with a little bit of pushing off.
Looked like he took a page out of Michael Irvin's playbook. He was hand fighting Darrell Green inside the 10-yard line, and I agree with you, Frank. That's a lot of pushing and contact.
Well, you match your best up, you leave him man for man, and hope for the best, because Darrell Green over the years has been one of the great ones at man for man, and this time he was beaten by Harper.
Well, I think we're going to see a classic push-off with the right hand of Alvin Harper. He appeared to give Green a pretty good shove.
Lin Elliott for the point after.
Let's take a look at Alvin Harper working against Darrell Green. The contact to watch for is going to be inside the 10-yard line. Now Harper's just working to the outside. Green gives him the outside. Now there's the right arm of Harper, and there's a shove, gain separation. That, you know, the way I look at it, I think that's offensive interference, but it's also well disguised, and it goes on all the time. I'm not sure that's enough that you take anything away from Alvin Harper and what he did.
You make it look like you're struggling, and just that little bit of an arm, I can assure you, if you're trying to cover a man, is enough to slow you down. And look at Darrell Green. He's almost pushed over backwards. I think Darrell Green was confident he was going to draw a flag.
The advantage of being a big receiver. Alvin Harper at 6'3", Darrell Green at 5'8". with Harper and Irvin. Big men on the outside for the Dallas Cowboys, and it is a real advantage that they're not afraid to capitalize upon.
Meanwhile, Emmitt Smith with a nice blitz pickup on that last play to enable Aikman to have the time to loft it perfectly. Dallas up by 9 with 1:02 left in the half. And the kick from Elliott comes into the hands of Brian Mitchell. After starting at the 9-yard line, brings it back to the 41-yard line, and he's tackled by the kicker, Elliott, the rookie.
Remember how concerned we were about the Cowboys having no timeouts? Well, they got into the end zone with a minute left over. Now the Redskins have 2 timeouts remaining, and they can threaten.
6 plays in 35 seconds. Not bad. Not bad. And you don't need us to tell you that that man and this team possess one of the great long ball games in the NFL. 53 seconds and 59 yards, hardly insurmountable.
Well, the Skins still have those 2 timeouts left at the 41-yard line.
It's a strange game, isn't it?
It is. Art Monk in motion. Art Monk on an end around, has some blocking. And Monk is ridden out of bounds at the 49 by Isaac Holt. That's a gain of 8.
And very cleverly, Art Monk saves one of the 2 remaining timeouts, steps out of bounds after the pickup of about 8.
47 seconds remaining now in the half.
Hardly a surprise that Art Monk makes a smart play.
Hardly. Only 13 years of them.
Well, they're pretty close to field goal range when you've got a guy like Chip Lohmiller who had a Hall of Fame night here in the Monday Nighter a year ago. That pass is incomplete. It is 3rd down and 2 intended for Irvins.
Oh, good read, too, on the part of Mark Rypien. Bill Bates had his eyes set on the interception. Rypien saw Bates coming in to make the move, and he just drilled it into the carpet.
Third and 2 at the 49-yard line. Redskins have not converted a 3rd down tonight. 0 for 4. Three-man rush, and Rypien not even close. The coverage was there, intended for Ricky Sanders, and it's 4th down.
Mark Rypien has thrown several good-looking passes tonight. He has thrown several clunkers as well.
That was
the last 2 qualifying as such.
Of course, there was good coverage downfield. The Redskins having a hard time to figuring out the zone of the Dallas Cowboys. They had the 1 successful touchdown pass to Gary Clark. He was wide open, but other than that, the Cowboys defense has been very effective, and it's been primarily zone.
Goodburn to punt, and nobody is back deep for Dallas. They'll just let it bounce. 35 seconds remaining. And Goodburn's kick, is it stopped? Oh, very close. It is not. It is into the end zone as Johnny Thomas got down there but could not stop it from crossing the plane of the goal line, in effect. 51-yard kick.
Good-looking dance move nonetheless.
They had a good effort, but the ball was ruled having broken the plane of the goal line. But Johnny Thomas making you look awfully good.
Yeah. Well, Johnny Thomas trying to keep his feet in bounds, but that's not the issue on that play. It's where the ball is. Halftime report. We're going to have a feature on Desmond Howard, the Heisman Trophy winner, joins the posse. And Dennis Green, the new coach of the Minnesota Vikings, who had a tremendous preseason and won in overtime yesterday against Green Bay, will visit with us live to talk about his NFL debut. Troy Aikman with a kneel down, and with 23 seconds, let's see, Dick Hantag's going to bring him back out because the Redskins are going to take a timeout. So the Redskins are playing this one according to the book. They've got the timeouts. They're going to use them. They can stop it once more.
Well, they're going to make the Cowboys execute a center quarterback exchange. And stranger things have happened. The ball might come out. A long shot, but Joe Gibbs maybe serving notice on his football team that it's not as easy to just trot up to the locker room.
Well, take a look at that. That's over the last 4 years. 23 of the 24 division champs over a 4-year period have won their season openers. The only exception was Detroit last year, blown out by Washington on opening day 45-0, and then rebounding to win the Central Division.
I'm sure everybody at home knew that anyway.
Beyond question. They've got Ray Horton, the safety, lined up as the tailback here. That's pretty good insurance policy when your safety is playing tailback.
That's the final timeout.
And the Redskins just took their last one. And Ray Horton gets a couple of offensive plays.
Yeah.
Another two-way player in the NFL.
That's right. This guy can tell his grandkids, hey, you've heard of Dorsett and Perkins and guys like that.
Right.
I was a tailback too.
Roy Green and that. You know, here we go.
Remember the Washington game? I went both ways.
Next week we go to Cleveland Stadium, and there's a picture of Dan Marino, and he opens his season since the Dolphins had the bye yesterday. They will face the Cleveland Browns, who fell victim to Ted Marcher-Broda's Indianapolis Colts. Ted getting the job up there, and the Colts, who won 1 game all of last season, beat the Browns 14-3. Meanwhile, Rypien and the Skins are going to go into the locker room down 16-7 after one more Aikman kneel down. And a first half very much dominated by the Dallas Cowboys.
I'm sure they'll be reminded that they came from behind last year on a Monday night game here in Texas Stadium. But they are going to have to play a noticeably better second half than they did here in the first.
Halftime score, Dallas 16, Washington 7, and we'll return with halftime activities after this message from the National Football League and a word from our ABC stations.
There's a new NFL season. We're overcoming last year's hurdles and focusing on a new game plan for victory. And in local United Ways, a new team of volunteers have tightened their belts to ensure that local United Ways are a winning team. They're being joined by the stars of the NFL in bringing you a new series.
Sometimes it takes the biggest and the strongest among us to help the smallest, most needy among us.
From the Dallas Cowboys' Troy Aikman helping physically and mentally handicapped children, to San Diego, where Junior Seau of the Chargers and his wife Gina are helping a child with spina bifida. And Jackie Slater of the Los Angeles Rams brings a lot of courage and caring to blind.
The first hit of the season.
I'm giving you some bacitracin to get rid of the bad spirit.
From the Emmy-winning creators of Northern Exposure.
No problema.
The press calls it a taste of something tropically terrific.
Hot dog?
Going to extremes, Tuesday.
Wednesday, Emmy winner Candice Bergen.
I very much wanted to meet a man.
Tom Cruise.
I think you're in love.
I am. And David Letterman.
Do you want to stay with NBC?
With footage never before seen on the Barbara Walters special, Wednesday.
Born out of a tradition of quality, designed with the comfort you deserve, the style you demand. Buick LeSabre, the automobile named a Best Buy in both Consumer's Digest and Motor Trend. Now with cashback up to $1,000 and announcing 3.9% financing for up to 48 months. An amazing savings opportunity on a terrific automobile. See your Central New York Buick dealer and drive away the quality of LeSabre.
Okay, dog. Roll over. Fetch the paper. Fetch the paper. Big. Say, you should play Take 5. The game 500,000 New Yorkers win every week. Be a winner. Play Take 5, Tuesdays and Fridays.
WUTR TV20, Utica Road.
The Toyota Halftime Report. Brought to you by your Toyota dealer, who invite you to discover the all-new Corolla. Discover Corolla again. Here now, Frank Gifford.
Back at Texas Stadium, Irving, Texas, big game in the NFC East tonight. And we're at halftime, the Washington Redskins and the Dallas Cowboys. Well, this past draft day, the Super Bowl champion Washington Redskins made a major commitment to their future. The one player they prized was Michigan's Desmond Howard, the Heisman Award winner, and the Skins traded up, paid up, and after a long wait, Howard was finally in uniform. The moment came last Saturday night, the moment most of Washington had been waiting for. The moment Desmond Howard, the $6 million rookie, caught his first NFL pass. To coaches, fans, and Desmond himself, it had been a long road from draft day to this day. The highest Redskins draft choice in 28 years, Desmond held out for a 4-year, $5.9 million deal that eclipses the salaries of all but 2 other Redskins. The price he paid, missing all of training camp and 4 of the 5 preseason games. Not a great way to start a career in the NFL.
I mean, it was hard, it was frustrating, and anxiety was setting in many different times because I wanted to be there, I wanted to participate, I wanted to get my job started. I knew this is where I would be employed, so, you know, I wanted to get it started. And it was a difficult thing to do, but it was something that I had to do, and I don't have any regrets on doing it.
No regrets. That could well sum up Howard's attitude at the University of Michigan, where he climaxed an outstanding career with his best reception ever, the Heisman Trophy.
Hopefully Desmond's going to be as good a football player as we projected him to be in the National Football League. We're not looking for an impact initially with Desmond because we've got the posse. We've got 3 great receivers right there. But, you know, there'll come a time when we need Desmond Howard, and hopefully he'll be ready when that time comes.
He's definitely not completely ready yet. A few days of practice do not an NFL player make, even a Heisman Trophy winner.
I was probably a step slower when I first came in here, but it's definitely difficult to get ready for a football season, especially NFL.
You know, basically what you're trying to do is just work as hard as you can with him and get him into all the practices you can, and it's a crash course, really.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be employed. When I look at the class of 92 and the employment rate for the class of 92, the students who graduated, I'm happy to have a job.
If you've discovered that suddenly you could use a little more room, discover just how much more room there is in the all-new 1993 Toyota Corolla, and discover Corolla again.
Saturday, the best is here in a star-studded event. Join Michael Jordan as he hosts the RMCC Celebrity Golf Championship. Then ABC's college football follows as the Texas Longhorns tackle Syracuse. Tennessee invades Georgia to battle the Bulldogs. Oregon takes on Pac-10 rival Stanford, or other regional action. It's all Saturday on ABC Sports.
We come back to Irving, Texas. The Cowboys leading. They dominated the first half. They lead by a score of 16-7. When you talk about domination in preseason, nobody dominated like the Minnesota Vikings, who have a new coach, 43-year-old Dennis Green, after 3 years as the head coach at Stanford. Dennis, we congratulate you on yesterday's win, and I ask you, with 140 points scored and 6 against and a perfect record in preseason, were you trying to send a message, or was that an accident?
Oh, that was an accident. I mean, I don't think there's any way that you could script that to happen. I mean, it would be impossible. I think that our guys played 4 very hard football games. They gave 100%. Whether we had 72 players or 56 players, everybody that played contributed, and I think the coaches and players are doing very well right now.
Dennis, the perception of the Vikings for a number of years now has been they have gotten very little out of a lot. Did you feel they had that much talent when you got there?
Well, I think there's been a lot of talent here. There's no doubt about that. But I also feel that they've had some dynamite players who have done well throughout the years, but maybe never got the credit they should. I mean, guys like Gary Zimmerman and Steve Jordan, Randall McDaniel, Henry Thomas, Chris Dolman, those guys have always played hard. But I think that the perception sometimes can control your image. And I think that's where we're going to probably make the biggest impact.
You came in, and of course, there's no Wade Wilson. You go with Rich Gannon. There's no Herschel Walker. There's no Joey Browner. Did you feel it was important to have sort of a mini house cleaning?
I tell you what I do. I base it on kind of a realistic evaluation of the talent. Now, whether or not someone can do a great job for someone else is really irrelevant. What we're concerned about is where the guy fits into our plans with the Minnesota Vikings, and we want to put a team together that thinks about team first and team last.
You go back a long way with Bill Walsh, an assistant under Bill at Stanford with the 49ers. Is he the most influential man in your coaching philosophy?
I think so. I met Bill when I was 26 years old. I had some dynamic coaches in college and worked with some guys, but I think the years that I spent with Bill, it really helped me then. I think really the last 8-9 months that I spent with Roger Hedrick, our president here with the Minnesota Vikings, has been a tremendous help to me also, because we've been able to work together and speak about a lot of different issues every single day.
Dennis, you'll be on Nightline later discussing the fact, amazingly, there's not one black head coach at a major college. Now there are 2 in the NFL. Has the fact that Art Shell has now been here for 3 years and it's had success, has that made it easier for you to concentrate solely on your job and not be part of a sideshow?
Well, you have to do your job. I mean, all our players really care about that the head coach provides the kind of leadership and direction for the vision of the program. They don't really care about whether the guy is black or what religion he is. It's irrelevant. I mean, we're interested in winning, and I know that's the same thing that Art wants. Any coach wants an opportunity to show what he can do and then to do a good job for the organization that he represents.
Dennis, again, congratulations. Great preseason, great opening day win against Green Bay. We'll see you down the line.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Dennis Green, the head coach of the Minnesota Vikings. Meanwhile, we'll start the third quarter shortly here in Irving, Texas. Dallas dominating, leading by a score of 16-7.
Halftime Report has been brought to you by your Toyota dealer, who invite you to discover the all-new Corolla. Discover Corolla again. We'll be back with the second half kickoff after this message and a word from our ABC station.
If you've discovered that all you really need in life is just a little more. Discover the performance and handling of the all-new 1993 Toyota Corolla and discover Corolla again.
Wednesday.
I've got 500 watts running through this bad boy.
Is it safe for us to be sitting here?
Prepare yourself for a lovely Sunday afternoon at the Metropolitan Opera.
Oh, that's wonderful, Tim. Turn it down.
Stop.
Home Improvement. Now on Wednesday, followed by Roseanne on a special night.
Good evening. Some of the stories we're working on for Eyewitness News Night Beat. Fay Vincent calls it quits as the commissioner of baseball. The move comes after an overwhelming no-confidence vote 4 days ago by the major league owners. Vincent wrote in a letter that he wanted his resignation, not litigation, to be his final act as commissioner. The 10-man executive council is now in charge of Major League Baseball. We'll, of course, have more on that after the game. Also in local news, it looks like the future of the Yorkville Fire Department is up in the air. The village board is considering contracting out the volunteer company's services to other nearby departments. It's a move that's prompted firemen to take action. About 1/3 of the force is reportedly threatening to resign. We'll have more on that. Also, is there some rain in the forecast as we head back to school this week, and we'll have a look at all the day's sports. Join us for those stories and more coming up on Eyewitness News Night Beat. That's after the game.
Who can we count on to fight for us? While Bob Abrams was forcing giant corporations to clean up toxic dumps, Geraldine Ferraro was in Congress voting to weaken environmental laws. Now, while Abrams fights for sweeping changes in our health insurance system, Ferraro goes along with the Band-Aid approach of Washington insiders. While Abrams stood up to the anti-abortion extremists, Ferraro was silent. The record speaks for itself. Bob Abrams, a fighter for New York.
WUTR TV 20, Utica Road.
Back at Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas, as the second half begins. 16-7, the Cowboys lead it by 9. They kick off. Lin Elliott will send it skyward, and Desmond Howard and Brian Mitchell are back to receive for the Washington Redskins. Elliott, who won the job with a good preseason. It was nip and tuck with Brad Dalwiso through preseason after Ken Willis left for Tampa Bay on Plan B. And we're going to take a look at Desmond Howard again, whose last run back was 23 yards. And this one is a little bit longer as he is knocked down by Washington up at the 26-yard line. ABC's Monday Night Football is being brought to you by Chrysler Corporation and your local Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, Jeep, and Eagle dealers. By Levi's Dockers. Nobody does color like Dockers. And by Bud Light. If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light. At the 26-yard line for the Redskins, 1st and 10. Rypien, after an off and on performance, mainly off in the first half, gives it to Ernest Biner, and that's a big hole through the middle and up to the 37-yard line. And let's take a look at the numbers through the first 30 minutes of play. Dominated by the team on the right side, the Dallas Cowboys.
And you can see the opponent's points off turnovers. You can see that the turnovers were 1 each. But the Cowboys gave up 7 points on that, well, what really was a bogus interception by Martin Mayhew. He really trapped the ball.
On 1st down, Rypien airing it out and getting wide open was Monk, but it's underthrown, and getting back there is Horton. I mean, he was open by 10 yards.
Rypien just a little late on the delivery, and Art Monk was either caught in a messed up defense or man just let him go. Let's take a look. Holt is number 30, but Art Monk just sprints by Holt. He lets him go. Trying to get the help from the inside from Ray Horton, but he had a gap in there, and Mark Rypien was late on the delivery.
You can see Rypien double clutch the ball and take a stagger step before he released it. As it was, the ball went 55 yards in the air.
2nd and 10. Biner makes the catch. Breaks a tackle, picks up the 1st down, takes it into Cowboy territory. Kenneth Gant was the guy who couldn't make the tackle, and Larry Brown finally ran him down.
Let's take an eye here on Big Tim Lachey, number 79. Oh, and stepped on by his left guard. Raleigh McKenzie stepped on his foot and put him on the ground. That's one of the few times you'll see Lachey flat on his back.
Redskins go without a huddle, and then Rypien has a hard time with a handoff, and it's all he can do not to fumble it and give it to Ernest Biner for no gain on a messed up play. 2nd and 10.
If one of the intents of the Washington no huddle was to in some way disorient a rookie middle linebacker, Robert Jones, and the Dallas defense, I don't think it appears to be working. It has not in any way put the Dallas defense back on their heels, and this time the Redskins elect to go back into the huddle.
Second and 10 from the 49-yard line. Here's Biner swinging to the outside, and he runs right into big number 73, Danny Noonan.
Yeah, the Cowboys doing a good job internally. We told you, Russell Maryland not playing tonight, Tony Casillas. The 2 starting defensive tackles both out, Danny Noonan in there and Jimmy Jones, and they're doing a fine job. There is a look at Maryland. He has a dislocated 2nd left toe of his left foot. And that's Casillas. He has the knee job, and Russell Maryland isn't even suited up tonight. He has the dislocated toe.
3rd and 9. Rypien under a lot of pressure just throws it away because Leon Lett came blasting through, number 78.
Well, you cannot blame Mark Rypien for that. A miscommunication on the Redskin left side of their offensive line. Watch Raleigh McKenzie, the left guard, go down toward the center and totally disregard Leon Lett, who's lined up on his outside shoulder.
Cowboys also in a safety blitz, and that disturbed things up front, and Rypien just had to deliver it.
Skins still haven't converted a third down tonight. 0 for 6. Goodburn to punt. He's been lucky with short kicks that have bounced for him. This one is a liner, fair caught at the 10-yard line by Kelvin Martin. 12:11 to go in the third quarter. Cowboys by 9.
The first padded dash, the first four-wheel disc brakes, the first shoulder harness, the first to install airbags in every car and minivan they built, the first car to offer both dual airbags and the world's only built-in child seat. At a time when it has become fashionable to hop on the safety bandwagon, we thought you'd like to know who built the bandwagon. In the car business, you lead, follow, or get out of the way.
I'm Spike. This is my house. And these are my housemates. Let's play some ball. I ain't playing ball with no ball hogging, trash talking, showboat, Nike wearing, high flying, donut dunking, hip hopping homeboy from Harlem. And I ain't playing ball with no flat-footed, Boston loving, gravity bound, Nike wearing, no dribbling, golden hair, hockey playing, farm boy from South Dakota. Hold up. If we're gonna live together, we gotta play together. The more colors, the more better. Peace.
Texas Stadium rocking and rolling like the old days. Here's some Cowboys you're also going to be seeing a lot of this season. Take note, little guys. Here are the Cowboys of Moo Mesa. We've got Moo Montana, Dakota Dude, and the Colorado Kid. Their season will begin this Saturday, 9 o'clock Eastern here on ABC. 8 out west in LA. That's 9 o'clock Eastern AM for you little guys. Okay, partners?
Utterly fantastic, Frank.
I believe so. I'm going to milk that a little more, but
from the 10-yard line on first down, Emmitt Smith goes next to nowhere. Tim Johnson, 78, makes the tackle. Kurt Gouveia is there as well. Bobby Wilson, who started the game at defensive tackle, there he is, 94, sprained knee. Clearly he is done for the night. As we mentioned before, Eric Williams now missing from the defensive line. They don't expect to see him until October. So Jason Buck, a much traveled defensive lineman, is a guy who's going to see a lot of action, 99.
And we've not seen a big push by the Redskins up the middle. We've commented on it several times. They need to develop a rush coming up the middle of the line.
2nd and 8. That time the rush came from the outside, but somehow, some way, Michael Irvin is able to make the catch. A flag down. It's a personal foul against the Redskins.
And this will put Dallas clear across the midfield line. Irvin's still down. Boy, he uses his hands not only to catch the ball, but to get clear beforehand.
Personal foul. Defense number 58 hitting the quarterback with the crown of his helmet.